Hey, this is Wingman again. This is the conclusion to the story of what happened with Murphy Lawman. So, when I last talked about it, I had left it at where I was in a cage, 12 inches high, and looking like a GI Joe doll with GI Joe clothing. And across the way, I saw a mannequin that looked like me, and another mannequin that looked like Murphy Lawman. And I had seen Dr. Shrinkage just walk in talking to Dolly Mama. So, what ended up happening was while they were in the middle of talking, the police entered. And the reason the police entered is because Nix, being the great team that he is, he contacted the police when he saw that Murphy and I didn't show up for several hours. And so when the police entered, they arrested they arrested Dolly Mama and Dr. Shrinkage before they could do anything, and took them away. When they were questioned in jail, the plot kind of like they kind of explained what had been going on. Dolly Mama has this widjitsu capability, and she uses it to do different kinds of spells and stuff. And so what had happened is when Murphy and I had entered the store, and she recognized that we were Wingman and Murphy Lawman, she went into her widjitsu mode, where she was quick like a cat, and she basically snuck up on us before we knew what was going on. She then grabbed our junk and whispered a spell, and when she whispered the spell, she basically pulled off our junk, and what was left were the mannequins that I saw. And so what I then found out was she was working with Dr. Shrinkage, and as you know, when a Dr. Shrinkage shrinks someone, it's only temporary. However, what they did to get around this, a loophole, is he would shrink the junk itself that she had just got, and then she would use her widjitsu to put it on a baby doll, and then because it was on a different person, the widjitsu had welded it on, so to speak, it didn't grow back to normal size. So she basically grabbed our junk, and then he turned them into little baby dicks, and then she put them on babies. At least in the case of Murphy Lawman, she put it on a baby. And then because Dr. Shrinkage had a personal vendetta on me, he wanted to make sure that I suffered. So he had her put it on a GI Joe doll instead. That's why I was 12 inches high and looked like a GI Joe doll. He wanted to make sure that I knew what had happened. So the thing is they were trying to get her to reverse the widjitsu. She wouldn't do it. So I was basically stuck as a 12-inch action figure, basically. So the thing is that she had already, as part of their plan, is they were basically smuggling out babies as they were capturing adult men and taking their junk, shrinking it down, putting it on a baby doll, and then when she put it on the baby doll would come to life, and they would then sell the babies on the black market. So the thing is you would think that because of I remembered what was going on, that Murphy would also remember what was going on. The thing is as part of her widjitsu, after they put it on a baby, she did a spell on them to basically make them forget everything that they had ever done up to that point, so that they were basically the mind of a child. And so she had already shipped out the babies in the latest shipment, which Murphy was part of. And so we don't know what happened to him. Well, I still to this day do not know what where he got shipped out to. And the thing is even if we did know, he wouldn't remember who he was anyway. So the other thing is that since she's the only one that knows Wujitsu, she's the only one that could basically take the junk from the baby and then put it back on the person. So the other thing that she was doing as part of this was a way to get gangsters and stuff new identities. Basically, so she would take the junk off of one person, put him on a baby, ship off the baby. Then she would take a gangster that wanted a new identity, take his junk, and then put it on the mannequin that was created from the other person. And so that way they then had the look of the other person, and they basically stole their identity. So she had a really good setup, and she wasn't about to ruin it by backing things up. So it looked like for the longest time, and I'm talking like several months, that I was going to be stuck as a 12-inch doll, which was what Dr. Shrinkage wanted, the ultimate revenge. But luckily, my teammate Nix was able to continue on without me, and he found this special bar that he had heard about. It was a magic bar, and what I had heard is that there was a special drink you could order, a gin, and if you drank the gin, it allowed you to make one wish, and the wish would be effective up until you had to go to the bathroom. So once you went to the bathroom, your wish would be undone. So Nix did what he had to do. He drank the gin, and he wished that he would know all about Wujitsu. And so he then knew everything about it. And unfortunately, the bar was quite a ways away. So he raced back to our lair as fast as he could. But that gin just goes right through you. And so he ended up coming back, and he was able to Wujitsu me by removing my junk from the 12-inch doll. And of course, because he did that, and it was, had been some time, it automatically grew back to the correct size. We had saved my mannequin form just in case we were able to figure out how to do this. He then used his Wujitsu to put my junk back onto my body. And so once he did that, then I was back to being Wingman like I was supposed to be. And the thing is he was barely able to do that, and then he just peed all over. He couldn't hold it in anymore. And the moment he peed, he forgot how to do Wujitsu. So he was able to do it just long enough to fix me, and that was it. So anyway, that's mainly what happened with this Wujitsu, and how I lost Murphy Lawman as of this point. That like I said, we still don't know what happened to him. We don't know where he's at. They're not, Dolly Mama isn't in any way helping us to figure that out for us, to determine where he's at. So maybe someday we'll find him. But like I said, even if we do, even if we're able to put him back on his form, which we still have, we'd have to figure out a way to give him his memories back. So anyway, that's the story. It's kind of a sad one, but just wanted to let you guys know what happened and why I'm currently not with Murphy Lawman anymore. So that I'm Wingman, just winging it. Bye.